So greetings folks, here we are at the Bouctouche Farmers Market. We're talking about composting and reducing food waste. So food waste is one of those things that are really a really important hot topic issue nowadays, especially with the price of food. The last thing we want to do is waste it. So here with composting, it's a great way of taking that organic matter, that rich, nutrient-rich food that might otherwise get wasted, can become itself a resource, to become rich compost that can produce more food at a lower price. So by keeping our nutrients in our garden soil, it replenishes the nutrients in the soil for the new plants that are going to be growing there. So your kitchen scraps are no longer a waste. Now they become a resource. That's a really important part of keeping that carbon cycle alive. Keep it cycling back into soil so that we can maintain good soil fertility at long term at the lowest price possible. Here in Kent County, we're not the richest part of the world, but we have land. So with land, you're able to grow food. So by producing your own compost, taking waste, that organic matter that will normally just fall to the ground and decompose. Here we've got 3 different habitats in our region. Here I've got leaves that come from our forests. They fall to the ground, decompose, and become soil. Our fields are composed of with grasses. So in the fall, the grasses fall to the ground, they dry up, they become carbon-rich material that becomes more soil. In our dunes, it's eelgrass and other seaweeds that accumulate and provide that fertility so that more plants will grow in the dunes. Well, all of these materials are rich sources of carbon that we can use as a 20-part element, 20 parts of carbon for 1 part of nitrogen. So in composting, you want that 1 part of nitrogen, which can be animal manures, it can be coffee grinds. Here I've got comfrey to represent, green leaves and green plants are very rich in nitrogen, and they're a good source of nitrogen and that's what gets your compost hot. So if we make a good, thick, tall compost, minimum 1 cubic meter, with the proportions of 20 parts of carbon to 1 part of nitrogen-rich material, you're going to get a compost that's going to start to warm up, and it gets up to around 60 degrees Celsius. Now that's hot enough to cook a lot of the weed seeds and all the plant diseases that are in that might be in your compost. It eliminates a lot of that. It sanitizes it. It makes it healthy. If you maintain a good aerobic compost, that is one that's moist but not too wet, so that there's still air, because the bacteria that make good compost, they breathe air, just like you and me. So we want to have a nice moist compost but not overly wet, composed of 20 parts of carbon to 1 part of nitrogen, and that gives you a beautiful, rich, dark color. That's where the chocolate cake soil comes from. It's the carbon-rich soil in gardens that we're talking about when we're talking about chocolate cake soil. And that's what keeps your soil nutrients alive, your soil function alive, so that soil absorbs water, absorbs air, and becomes a really rich and vibrant source of nutrition and a good environment for the plants to grow in. And all of these materials that we have here that we can use to make compost also make good mulch. So one of the things that's really important, especially in the hot time of the season, is to top up your soil with some mulches. Keep the soil moist, prevent evaporation. By keeping your soil moist with mulches, the plants are much less stressed, and they'll be much healthier, much more vigorous, and much more productive with a good layer of mulch, keeping that moist soil, functional for the plants. And finally, vermicompost is another way to take your kitchen scraps at home. Anybody can do this at home in your basement. You just take some red wrigglers. You go to the bait shop, buy a little package of 25 red wrigglers for like $6. I'm not sure what they charge for that. But basically with that, you can have a lifetime supply of vermicompost. And what they do is they'll take all your kitchen scraps and turn it into this beautiful chocolate cake soil stuff that you can top up your garden beds, your flower pots, and all of these things make fantastic growing conditions. And you see the nice, beautiful, dark colored material, and it smells like beautiful, rich forest soil. You know, it doesn't smell bad. That's how you know you did it right. If it smells good, if it smells like soil, you know you've got something that's going to really do a lot of good for your plants. So these are things, our methods, and things that we try to encourage here at the Bouctouche Farmers Market. Reduce food waste, return that nutrition to the soil, grow food locally, grow food yourself, buy food from local organic gardeners. It's the best way to get their highest quality food possible at the lowest price. If you grow food within walking distance of your table, you can't get a better quality food at a lower price. And it doesn't have to cost a lot of money. All of these things are free. For all they have to do, pay attention to your garden and, you know, pay respect to the way nature makes soil. Then nature will help you make your garden grow. So thank you very much for spending a little bit of time with us here at the Bouctouche Farmers Market. And I wish you a happy growing season and, you know, good eating. So have a great day and talk to you later. Bye-bye.